The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Yeah, I love it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to, I guess, the Jeff Meacham Show on a Thursday. As the description clearly says, and as our buddy James clearly read, it's just one of those days. I'm bored off my gourd, and I'm home stuck, so it is what it is. Oh, excuse me. That probably sounded a lot worse with the amplified microphone. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Jay. Indeed, yes. We're going to see how this goes. I know I do talk wrestling across the entire multiverse of media. Thank you again, James, for the signature. On Tuesday nights, but, this is kind of one of those, just open the forum up, let the people ask the questions. We are on, let's see if I can, the Tweeter, as well as the Greg Cherry brand, the Casa DD Studios channel, and the Jeff Meacham Network YouTube channel. But not anything else, not so much. 1, 2, is this on? Are we not hearing me, Jay, or are we just doing the gimmick? Anyway, Psycho says, when are we going to see your cousin Meach? It's funny, Psycho. Mia Yim actually, we had signed or agreed in principle to the old World Independent Ladies Division, the Wild promotion that I was doing creative for with my buddy Travis. And TNA signed her not too long after that. And we kind of folded shortly thereafter. So it kind of just was what it was. I'd love to have Mia on as an interview guest. That would be tremendous to have. But again, she does work for the E. So it is what it is. They're not too fond of me, or at least they didn't used to be. I don't know how they are now up in the tower or the new building, wherever they are now, because I don't know how much sway Mr. McMahon has. And from what I understand, I wasn't a popular name there based on my association with No DQ and some of the content that I would criticize over the years. But I'd love to have me on. I'd love to have anybody on, really, in the business that's, a worthwhile subject and not a, scuzzy piece of shit type person. Just my own preference. If you're a scuzzy piece of shit, you want to go on somebody else's show, go for it. Let me mute this. This is a really bad cough. So I have grown my beard out quite a bit in the past, Psycho. The comment here. I'm going to try to convert this to audio as well, by the way. And see if we can get the podcast, the audio podcast stuff back launched, because I love doing that when I first returned to doing these things on a regular basis back in 2020. Just YouTube kind of took over and was an easier way to make money, so I thought. Anyway, this question, if a comment says, if I grew my beard out, I would look like Kevin Smith from the 90s or one of those morning zoo radio hosts. I always enjoyed the radio format. I always enjoyed the idea of being not a shock jock like Howard Stern or Tom Leykis or whatever, but just the idea of being able to have a talk radio show and be able to have a different perspective than just YouTube and fancy video. I like the bare, brass tacks basics. I mean, the other studio, I've got, the big green screen I pull down on a regular basis, but I've been, at the old house. So just kind of gotten used to having a plain old wall here behind me. And I don't mind it. It's very simple. I just set up the lights as best I can, get the camera, and roll tape, if you will. What do you call it? JJ says Meech's beard looks like Kris Kringle's beard in Santa Claus Coming to Town. That's accurate. When it comes in full, it's red. It is red as it's not quite this dark, the burgundy, which I do love this color. But I do definitely get that classic Kris Kringle from the Mickey Rooney Kris Kringle look. It's very, very red. Spotify listens is also a good way to get new fans. Not a bad idea. Hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I'll have to look into that after we get off the air here. Again, I don't know how long I'm going to go. I'm literally just on here BSing and seeing who pops in. I'm going on 3 different channels today, as well as the tweeter, as I said. So anybody that wants to pop in is more than welcome to pop in. Honestly, we did start the day. I don't remember when I heard this. I know it was out there fairly early this morning that Lanny Poffo had passed away. I know Frankie Kazarian, who had literally boarded the Jericho Cruise this morning with his band to go out into the Bahamas for a few days. Took Lanny's death pretty hard. I know that Lanny was the first wrestler he met as a fan, got to know him later in his career, and became a friend. And of course, Lanny was around when I popped in, and as a fan, as the Genius, of course. But very few people realized he was the brother of the Macho Man. Yeah. Got to talk to Lanny a couple times over the years before Randy passed. Not since, which I, regret, I suppose. Would have liked to have interviewed Lanny at some point, particularly after Randy passed, just to kind of get his perspective on things. It was neat to see him at the Hall of Fame. As far as I didn't get to go to the Hall of Fame that year that Randy was inducted, but it was cool that he was included. And let's see. Let's see. If you have a full beard, I imagine you wearing a lot of red plaid like Al from Home. Okay, so funny thing. I don't own a lot of plaid myself. I do. Is it handy? It's not handy. I do have a red plaid shirt. That's my Santa Ambassador casual look, if you will. And I actually just last year got see if I can reach it without hang on. Let's get off the set here. Hang on. I actually picked this up going into our Christmas visit last year at Disney. This is my alternate Mickey hat. Got this from an Etsy user or Etsy seller. My travel Santa bag, my little go-to kit that carries all my everything but my suit, is also red plaid. But overall, the red plaid stuff, not so much. Yes, can 2023 stop with the day? Yeah, we lost JJ. I kid you not. But let me get the thing in front of me. Yeah. As of now, we're gonna open mic. We're gonna begin open mic night with a tribute to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people just this week. Ain't that some shit? And it's really loose. I need to not have that be a thing. Can we possibly? There we go. Easy does it. Okay. We're working on it, kids. Josh, good evening. Good to see you. James says, since you're so bored, if you're off the air, check out Pete and Bass Plugged In or Sindhu Sesh. Thank me later. Good to know. I think. I don't know, James. We'll see. Josh says, James, JJ Psycho, and me in the live chat. Oh, my. Well, again, this is just kind of one of those winging it things. I'm going to be on the air. I started at 8 Eastern. I was going to go at 10, but I'm really bored. And I originally went at 10 because I was not 100% sure if Aaron was going to do NXT predictions tonight over on No DQ. So I didn't want to try to compete with that airspace because Aaron will blow me out of the water every time when it comes to audience. And I respect and understand that. So I don't begrudge him a single solitary bit. And yeah, exactly. That's the number as of now. You and I had talked about, we almost jinxed it, I suppose. The number increasing after I haven't made the video. I actually pushed, save or whatever on the video. Hasn't happened yet, but God, 7 in a week is very high. And again, open mic night doesn't just cover the wrestling folks. It covers the entirety of sports and entertainment. Excuse me, all to hell. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, George P. Wilbur, I found out just before I went on the air here, who portrayed Michael Myers in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and reshoots on Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. So it's like, damn, man, really? Like, how you gonna start my day off like that, or get ready to go on the air here? And it's like, oh shit. It sucks. It really sucks that we've lost that many people just this week. I am trying to, if I may, stop that. Okay, I don't want to use that. Let's use that. Again, I'm trying to very, very quickly get pictures loaded in here. And I do want to throw something out there to you guys to kind of, gauge the reaction, particularly JJ, since you're here. But make sure I got everything else squared away. Boop. No, scroll up. Thank you. Let's see. James says, trust me on the music. If you like rap with some lyrical structure and a great drill flow, you'll enjoy it. Not a big rap fan, hip hop fan. JJ will attest to that. But I'll give anything a try once. I mean, most things anyway. Josh says, I 1,000% understand the board. I may try and do some gaming on stream tonight, but I don't know. And Psycho says, if they're not splitting the titles, does Cody win the Undisputed title at Mania, or does Roman get to 1,000 days like Virtue wanted it? We actually talked about this the other night on, was it Talk Wrestling? Was it yesterday on Greg's show? I don't remember. It's such a crazy show yesterday. I don't remember. But either way, I think whatever happens with the titles, Cody still wins the championship flat out. Wins that match, regardless of the status of the title or titles. And Josh, if it's not Cody, who I can only see Braun or Gunter is Josh's statement. I still maintain, and I will maintain that it's. I don't see Braun Strowman. You mean Braun Breaker, not Braun Strowman, based on the way it's spelled. I know it's blurred. I'm sorry. The camera's trying to focus on several things at once. I do apologize, Jay. Where did that? I had something else saved that I wanted to throw up here. Just bear with me, guys. Here we go. There it is. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm focused now, I promise. The camera gets really blurry. Camera gets blurry because it's still new. It's still trying to adjust to the lighting in this house. Braun, I don't think Braun Breaker is ready for the title. Gunter, I think Gunter could be a world champion this year if it's not Cody. It should be Cody, for the record. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be anybody but Cody. And yes, he has to lose the Intercontinental Championship first, obviously. But so I still say Cody's going to be the one, regardless of the championships and their status. So again, I'm going to do a little visual stuff here. So you guys that are listening, if I do this on audio later, where did it go? I put the wrong one up. Son of a bitch. I knew I was going to do that too. Isn't that the worst? Okay. I know. There it is. Thank you. Hi. Boop. Okay. So just so everybody is aware of my scheduling situation, tomorrow I will be at Disney, scheduled to be there. So, Saturday when I return here to Studio A, if you will, we'll be getting ready to do our coverage of both Vengeance Day and then our open mic night. That's all coming up Saturday. This graphic isn't finished, by the way. I do have a finished graphic, so we can go ahead and use it. Oh, there it is. I just like Michael's put that poster out, the Vengeance poster, if you will. So I wanted to incorporate it with our graphics. Anyway, so I did have a question for the room, if you will. JJ and I talked about this last night, and I don't want to go too far forward with it until I know the interest. And I'm going to talk more about this during open mic night on Saturday, as well as during Talk Wrestling next week, since I'll have the No DQ audience along for the ride. But there is a discussion at the very least underway about having a presence WrestleMania weekend during WrestleCon. We've never done that before, where we've gone to the WrestleMania weekend convention. And I don't, there's a lot of money to consider committing. There's a lot of things to factor into the decision making, but I don't want to go forward with the idea of it if there's not genuine interest on the audience's side. I'm interested in going, no doubt about it. JJ's interested in going as the partner vendor. So what would you guys out there in the audience think? Would you be interested in, perhaps the live dads from WrestleCon during the course of the day, or a live, interview with one of the guests at WrestleCon? There's so many people that are going to be at WrestleCon this year out here in Los Angeles. And I honestly don't know if I want to spend that kind of money to go to the various live independent wrestling. GCW is going to be here. Prestige is going to be running their show. There's a Joshi show, of course, Supercard of Honor, SmackDown, Hall of Fame, WrestleMania, NXT, all that. So, what do you guys out there think about the possibility of us having a presence at WrestleCon and therefore being in LA for WrestleMania weekend in a professional capacity, not just going as fans? Let me know what you think. We'll talk more about it on Saturday as we do our plugs, open mic night, and maybe even during the course of Vengeance Day. Let's see. Question from Psycho. He says, Psycho Jet Black, by the way, for those of you listening, not watching. Will WWE give Braun Breaker an undefeated streak before challenging for the world title? Or should he lose a couple matches so he's not accused of being shoved down people's throats? I don't think he needs to be another Goldberg, another Asuka, another Jade Cargill to be considered a threat or have the accusation of throat shoving. I think Braun will be fine either way on his own. JJ says Vengeance Day is going to be good, awesome. Even Noah is looking forward to some of it. Yes, I know. I'm excited for it. And James is saying, I actually like that for real. Yeah, again, there are so many things on the docket at WrestleCon. Just people. I think I saved the images. If I didn't, it'll take a little longer, but I'll find it. So bear with me here. And again, a lot of these people, again, that are going to be there are not necessarily ones that we haven't. I did not delete that on purpose, but I probably did just to piss my ass off. Oh, I did. Well, some bitch. Okay. Well, anyway, so will I charge $25 for my autograph? Because I'm pretty sure Psycho's pretty sure I'll sell more autographs than EC3 and Damien Demento combined. I've always felt odd about doing that. I've always felt odd about charging for a picture and for an autograph. I don't know why. Maybe it's because at the end of the day, I'm still a fan. And I don't really consider myself a star or whatever. So don't know yet. And yes, he forgot about, I don't think he forgot. I think he purposely omitted Virgil, JJ. All right. So at WrestleCon, Frankie Kazarian is going to be there, who is a friend of the channel. I've been friends with Frankie for over 20 years. I love Frankie. John Morrison, who we interviewed, what was that, Jay? 10 years ago, he was on After the Bell with me and Alina. Sounds right. And then D'Lo Brown, who was on. We were actually D'Lo's first post WWE interview back in 2003. That's a true story. The files are long since lost, but also at WrestleCon, Tessa Blanchard, Camille, Taya Valkyrie, Britt Baker, Anna Jay, Julia Hart, the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, Jack Perry, Arn Anderson, Bret Hart, Brutus Beefcake, Kevin Nash, Lex Luger, Lita, Medusa, Ron Simmons, and Sergeant Slaughter are the people that I saved images for as people that I would want to feature on the channel. We kind of teased at Sarge on Twitter recently. Always wanted to have Sergeant Slaughter for an interview. He was the WWF champion when I started. He was the contender, excuse me, when I started watching, he was the first person okay, let me rewind the statement. He was the first person to win the WWF championship during my fandom because he defeated the Warrior at the 91 Rumble after me becoming a fan in October of 1990. Ron Simmons, we've met several times over the years. There's a picture of me somewhere out there in the ether that Jade took when we were at Raw the night Santino and Maria got a beer bath from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Medusa, we met on the Jericho Cruise. Wonderful possibility. Alita, we just met. I just met this last year. JJ's a big fan, a longtime fan. Lex, I would love to have Lex. A sit-down interview with him. Same with Kevin Nash. Same with even Brutus. I pick on Brutus, because I can. I guess I maybe I think I can. Bret Hart would be interesting. I'm not sure how objective I would be with Bret because I go back and forth how I feel about Bret. Double A, love to have Arn Anderson on for real. Let's see. And again, the stars of the day, Jack Perry, the Bucks, Adam Cole, Britt Baker, Anna Jay, Taya, and Camille. Camille's been NWA champion for 600 something days now. Tessa's a controversial figure, but I'd love to have her on, and I'd love to have the three returning people: D'Lo Brown, John Morrison, and Frankie, of course. What were some of the funniest moments when you do the no DQ panels? I mean, there have been very few moments that have been more serious and stern than funny over the years. And there's been so many no DQ panels over the years. You figure, XMV was a panel show in and of itself, and that there were more of us on the air at one time than any other time in our history. And we were always on location doing that. So it was fun. So that's kind of a long-winded question that I don't know if I want to get too far down the rabbit hole on. Let's see. James says, Virgil, the wrestling version of a near homeless dude trying to make ends meet. You think that? Have you seen the translation? Accurate? Although, poor Soul Train Jones is having a hard time right now with his health. So, Let's see. Josh says, I'm just glad Dylan and Ella have made no longer be the baby of the group. Look, Josh. Don't get used to Dylan being on all that often. He enjoys being part of it, but Saturday kind of gave him a little bit of an odd vibe, and I'll leave that where it needs to be. And Ella J was brought on yesterday because Greg was having a tough day. I didn't realize how tough it was, or I wouldn't have asked her to come on. Anyway, so which promotion was more successful, Global Force Wrestling or Control Your Narrative? I mean, they've both kind of. GFW was longer tenured, if you want to count that as a measure of success, but neither one of them had sustaining stay power. Control Your Narrative isn't even. I don't think it's even a thing anymore, is it? Because I know EC3's with the NWA. Braun's back with WWE, and Global Force merged into Impact with the return of Jeff Jarrett. By the way, I know I get way long-winded on promoting Conrad stuff, and I get shit on for it a lot of the times. But Ring Cock King for the win. Fuck me, Jay. Anyway, either this week or this week's newest for the people that don't have the ad-free shows access. Talks about Jarrett's return to Impact in 2017. Good listen for an hour and a half, and that's just the first part of it. So it'll be an interesting story. Excuse me 1 second. God damn, that was violent. Oh, y'all didn't hear that one. All right. I'm going to take a break so I can get some water. For those of you watching, again, even if I decide to put this as a video, we'll see. But either way, here's what's coming up this weekend and the rest of the quarter and beyond as far as watch-alongs on the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse Media. All right, JJ, again, thank you for that that video sequence. We appreciate that here in Studio 1A or whatever you're calling it. Oh, yeah, my throat hurts. It's funny, like I've shaken the cough, right? But I get too long-winded, or I do shows where it's just me talking for a half hour, and then I get wound up again. And JJ says LBWA had more fans in attendance than the CYN show. Hashtag fash, hashtag if you know. Yeah. I mean, you're not far off when you factor some of the audiences you guys had over the years, Jay. So there you go. Let's see. Josh says, I still forget sometimes that Brodus Clay is the NWA champion. Yeah, Tyrus is the champion, at least until February 11th when he faces Matt Cardona. So we'll see. Yeah, if almost Psycho for real. If I feel like I'm going to puke half the time with this damn cough. Anyway, let's see what else. Oh, I do want to give a little love to a fellow YouTuber. I think I. Oh no, there it is. So our friendish. I mean, we've met a couple times. I wouldn't call him a friend necessarily. Justin Scard over at Random Land on YouTube. Recently sat down with the voice of Mickey Mouse, Brett Iwan. The conversation about how Brett became Mickey is on the Random Land conversation on their YouTube. If you're a member of randomland.com, it's an over 2.5 hour interview with Brett, encompassing a lot of different stuff. I'm not a member yet, but Justin's content's amazing. So definitely check them out over at randomland.com and on YouTube. Justin's a cool dude. I got to meet both him and Brett the same day of my birthday. 3 years ago already. I was in Vegas. Whew, that's crazy. Was that infamous Vegas trip now? Actually, no, that one was okay. It was the one after that was shitty. Anyway, Mickey the Mouse. Yes, Mickey the Mouse, Jay. Very good. And James says, God, please give the belt back to Cardona. Right. I still say that Matt would be champion if he hadn't gotten hurt. So maybe they're hitting the reset button here on Saturday next week. And we'll be covering that as far as I know. So, JJ, since you're here, I'll go ahead and talk about this. So February 10th, I'm signing in my sister, my niece, and her bestie into Disneyland on Friday the 10th. So I'm trying to decide if I want to come back here the morning of the 11th and, hustle ass to get ready for the stream, or kind of whole pattern. Because I know that at least right now, I think everybody's using my fight login anyway for NWA, even if I don't even know if I still have one, because they kind of restructured that shit. So if I do stay in San Bernardino County, Jay, we may have to, we'll have to talk about that off air, but I would like to not have to travel as much as possible. And then I may be up there later that week anyway. So again, I just want to have as little traveling as possible and be able to cover as much as I possibly can without having to bounce around like a freaking ping pong ball or a damn, a pinball machine ball. So we'll see. But we'll talk more about that anyway. Let's see. James says we'll have to edit some stuff for one of my paid gigs. So I'll talk to you later, everyone. See you for Monday Night Wednesday. All right, James, we'll see you Saturday, brother. Psycho says, do you believe after Mania, Triple H will do a proper brand split with separate rosters and champions with almost no crossover except for PLEs? In a perfect world, yes. I think the idea of the roster split is still a good one in theory, Psycho. I just don't know if the company seems unwilling to commit to it. So I would love to see it, though. I really would. It's just a matter of, how far do they let themselves commit to, mean what they say and say what they mean. Because the original brand extension, held up pretty well. And then it didn't. And then the most recent hard split in 2016, they already had people cross over, whatever it was, a year later or, year and a half later. It was like, what's the point of that? Cool. Appreciate that, Jay. Very good. So let me also say this, without going too far into personal information. The plan set up for Wednesday, after Nuff said, involving your car and your navigation to educational institutions, now involves me apparently too. So I'm thinking if I don't get scheduled for work, just stay the course. But we'll see how things lay out. I don't know if I can stay in one place or the other in particular length of time, just because my back is so up when I'm not in this chair stretched out with on my ottoman. So we'll see. But I'll definitely give you a call if I can tonight, if not later on, about that. Psycho says, seriously, I don't understand why The Rock didn't schedule time to get into ring shape and fight Roman at Mania. You would think he would make time for family after years of teases. Okay, so I personally think on the Rock Roman thing, we allowed ourselves to be talked into something that was never even remotely made official, right? And I know I'm blurry. I'm sorry. It was very, very vague at best that The Rock would be at the Hollywood-based WrestleMania, but whether it was 2020 when it was supposed to happen or this year. And because we all yearn for The Rock so much when he does start sniffing around again, that we worked ourselves into a frenzy over. Ultimately, all there were vague hints and, as mentioned, teases. Yes, they did have an interaction on Young Rock. Yes, Roman talks about him on the Tonight Show. Yes, Rock talks about him in interviews. But that's all it's been, and that's all it's ever been since Roman returned to the company in 2020 and started on this path of being the head of the table. And I really think that we are coming off kind of like entitled spoiled brats about it, if I'm being honest, because nobody in the company, nobody with a company title, nobody with a letterhead on their stationery ever officially said, hey, we're getting The Rock. It never was a thing. I mean, maybe, maybe WWE did count on them with all the teases for Rumble, but never got it. You really need to. I think Triple H's dialogue at the press conference on Saturday was very telling. And the redirect was very telling for me, without a doubt. Triple H danced around that like as I said the other day, a Fred Astaire student. So there is that. All right. So just so everybody here knows, and especially since I'm on the, wait for it, Greg Cherry brand channel right now, I will not be on the Greg Cherry show this week, this coming week, this Wednesday, nor will there be at least this show in this time slot next Thursday. I'm going to Arizona. Friend of mine, JJ knows her, Kalea, has decided she wanted to go to Arizona to see the Bella Twins, do their podcast live in Phoenix, and then have a meet and greet at the Gila River Hotel and Casino. So kind of asked, was saying that she, didn't really have anybody to go with. And I found myself saying, hey, I'll go. And then I went, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said something so fast. But I did. So I am. So there will be no Jeff on the Greg Sherry Show next week, nor this particular outlet of a show next Thursday, because I'll be either traveling or in the theater or in the room. Anyway, where am I sitting now? Okay. Give me 1 second. There. Be back soon. Okay. Let me go ahead and sorry, let me see if I can do this. All right, hey, in the chat room, without getting too wound up, let's dissuade from talking about one of the brand heads, please. Thank you. And yes, hell has frozen over. Jeff is advertising plucking the bee. Yeah, you know what? Again, I don't have to be a fan to appreciate others' fandoms, right? Nicole and Bree are who they are, and they are, attached to who they are, who they were attached to. And I'm not either one of those guys, nor am I a family member, nor am I this, nor am I that. I don't have to be a fan of choices in person's lives to still remain a fan. And you know what? They give a shit about my opinions. I give a shit about theirs. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I'm going with a friend to support that friend and to, have a decent amount of company, right? Psycho says, do you remember that Dilbert episode where Stone Cold was the judge when Dilbert was pregnant with the alien? I never actually saw Dilbert. Never watched an episode. I missed a lot of the 90s more adult theme animation. Dilbert, Daria, the later King of the Hills, the later South Parks, that kind of stuff. Just never really got into it. Not that I would have disliked it, I just never watched it. So, there you go. Anyway. Okay, let me see. We're 40 in here. Oh, I don't know if I have the right video in here. So, all right. I don't. Okay. So, JJ's channel. I know this says next month. It is February, so it's this month. So this is what's coming up starting yesterday, even though it says next month, on Renegades Reviews. Hey, everybody, give me 1 second. Sorry. Took longer than I thought. Had to take a phone call, and then I'm trying to send a message to the warden about the phone call. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see. And I have heard that Daria was awesome, JJ. Again, it wasn't me trying to, dissuade people one or the other. I just haven't seen it my own self. And of course, regarding the promo I just ran, failure to launch will air at a later time slot tomorrow, as this currently hasn't been filmed. It will, however, be live before SmackDown ends on the West Coast. So sometime before 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Saturday Eastern time. Also be at Disney tomorrow for the record. Oh, well, Psycho, there you go. Appreciate that, man. $10. We're all in this together once we know that we're, okay. I realize what you're doing. I have never seen those movies, for the record. My niece tried to get me to watch them a couple times, just not my bag, but we are all in this together. You're absolutely right. Once you know that we're all stars, and we see that we're all in this together, and it shows when we stand hand in hand, make our dreams come true. You're welcome, Jeff. Well, thank you again for the $10, Psycho. Official company shill. You should watch High School Musical on Disney Plus. Anyway, but never seen it myself. Sorry. Psycho says, why do I think WWE pushed The Miz over John Morrison instead of pushing both guys at the same time to the upper mid card stars? My guess is they saw more mainstream appeal in Mike because of his connections to MTV with the Real World series, is my guess. I don't know that. Never asked either one of them. I would love to ask them what they think of that. I know Miz would be another great one I love to interview, because I've watched him from the beginning when he was training here at UPW here locally. And of course, we've had Morris on the show before. John's an LA boy. So we'd love to have them both on. I really would. Okay. The phone call I took, by the way, has now necessitated the fact that I need to make a hasty exit. So I'm going to do that. Oh, cool. So I'm also waiting for a delivery, not for food, for merchandise. So a lot of things happening that I wasn't prepared to, kind of all of a sudden here they are. So again, thank you all for indulging my boredom and then keeping me company the last hour, or at least 45 minutes anyway. Let's see. Again, tomorrow, SmackDown recap for the boss as part of No DQ's weekly shenanigans. SmackDown recap. Again, JJ mentioned failure to launch will be up sometime before SmackDown's over on this side of the country. You can also catch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It's when I said gays again. Second day in a row I've done that shit. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I need to slow the fuck down when I'm talking. That's the problem. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is the issue. Is the name of the movie. Also starring Matthew McConaughey. That went up on Renegades Reviews yesterday. Saturday's new release, unless I'm mistaken, JJ, is Doggone with Rob Lowe. Sunday will be The Warzone. And in between Doggone and Warzone will be Vengeance Day coverage on the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, as well as Open Mic Night. And again, you can catch all the action of these scheduled 6 matches, and Open Mic Night beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow with the pregame, pre-show, whatever. I won't be around for much tomorrow. Again, I'm scheduled to go continue on the celebration, but I get to go there in official capacity. So I'll be at the House of Mouse tomorrow. You guys enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you for Vengeance Day and Open Mic Night. Have a wonderful, and I do mean wonderful, rest of your night. No World War III. Too clusterfucky. 60 men, 60 people, 3 rings is a big setup. Absolutely disagree with that. Anyway, guys, good night. Godspeed. See you all next time, whenever this show is on again. But we'll see you Saturday for Vengeance Day coverage and Open Mic Night on the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media.